Buckle up.
Newcastle's future is about to massively change. From revealing Amanda Staveley's 118-worded bombshell statement, discussing the David Ornstein exclusive on a Newcastle Star,
You serious?
uncovering the latest exciting Newcastle United injury updates. Join us as we break it all down.
Let's go.
Starting off, Amanda Staveley has addressed questions regarding her position at Newcastle United following reports that she and Jamie Rubin were removed as directors of companies associated with the club earlier in the week. Despite headlines suggesting that she had resigned from her role as a director, Staveley has denied these claims and clarified that the changes made on Companies House were purely administrative. Upon her return from Saudi Arabia, Staveley has confirmed that both she and Jamie Rubin remain on the board of Newcastle United. She expressed gratitude to the club's fans for their incredible support once again. In an Instagram post, Staveley said, "Just arrived back from Saudi and noticed a lot of messages from fans concerned that I had stepped down from my role as a director of Newcastle United. I have not. The changes made last week were purely administrative to non-trading subsidiaries. After the takeover, Jamie and I stepped in as directors of all companies until we could build an executive team. We remain on the top co and the board. I'd like to thank everyone for their incredible support over the last few years, and particularly for people taking the time to share their thoughts. We have the best fans in the world, and I am privileged and proud to be a part of your community." Then moving on, according to transfer expert David Ornstein, Arsenal is interested in signing Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes during the summer transfer window. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is reportedly looking to strengthen the midfield position, potentially as a replacement for Thomas Partey, who has struggled with fitness issues. While several players have been linked with a move to the Emirates Stadium, Guimaraes has emerged as a serious option. Ornstein states that Arsenal holds a strong interest in Guimaraes because of his ability to play both as a deep-lying playmaker and in a box-to-box role. Ornstein suggests that Guimaraes, who has already demonstrated his qualities in the Premier League, would be a risk-free signing for Arsenal and capable of making an immediate impact if they acquire his services. Then you go into that sort of midfielder bracket. Somebody I think off the top of my head that Arsenal and other clubs really like is Bruno Guimaraes. He can play in the 8 role and the 6. Newcastle will hope to keep hold of him, but there is a release clause though. Anyone who's going to take him, he's got to deliver straight away. Arsenal may be looking, Ornstein said while on the Athletics podcast. However, to water all this down, according to recent reports from The Telegraph and various sources, Bruno Guimaraes has recently given a strong indication that he plans to stay at Newcastle United for the upcoming season. The Brazilian midfielder has reportedly made a bid for a new property in a prestigious neighborhood in Northumberland, just a few miles from Newcastle. It is believed that Guimaraes has purchased the house for £4 million and intends to move in with his wife and 2 children in the near future. This development suggests that the player is committed to remaining at Newcastle and sees his future with the club. In addition to Guimaraes' property purchase, his agent has also made statements on social media affirming the player's happiness at Newcastle. The agent dismissed claims that he had traveled to Paris on behalf of Guimaraes, further reinforcing the notion that the midfielder has no intention of leaving the club. These indications paint a picture of a content and settled Bruno Guimaraes, suggesting that he is fully focused on his future at Newcastle United and has no immediate plans for a transfer. Plus, do you still remember what Bruno said after snubbing Arsenal to join Newcastle United?
I better go to the past.
Bruno's magic, he wears a magic hat, he couldn't say for Arsenal, but he has said for...
Then according to the Mail Sport, Newcastle United's search for a new sporting director is progressing towards the final interview phase led by Odgers Berntsen. Candidates like Paul Mitchell, Rui Pedro Braz, and Thiago Pinto have already undergone multiple interviews up to 3. However, club chairman Yasser Al-Rumayyan's meeting with the candidates is the final step before finalizing a shortlist. Once appointed, the new sporting director's appointment could accelerate negotiations between Newcastle and Manchester United regarding compensation for Dan Ashworth, who is linked to a move to Old Trafford. Then in some injury updates, Craig Hope claims that Lewis Miley is set for a period of rest, joining Joe Willock on the sidelines for the rest of the season. Newcastle United wants to be cautious with Miley, considering his young age and the 26 appearances he has already made this breakthrough season. The club aims to protect him and avoid rushing his recovery, prioritizing his full healing given similar back problems experienced by young players like Elliot Anderson in the past. However, in an injury boost, Joelinton is reportedly nearing a return to full training with the first team and is expected to be available for Newcastle United's final 4 games of the season, including the trip to Burnley on May 4th. Then, Sandro Tonali has responded to the misconduct charge brought against him by the Football Association, UFA, even though he is currently in Italy participating in one of his 16 rehabilitation trips. The midfielder will now have to wait for the verdict of an independent regulatory commission, which will determine whether his current ban will be extended. However, it's important to note that Tonali's current ban will end after he has missed the first 2 games of the upcoming season. Then, if you want to know Newcastle's 3 scary stadium redevelopment options, click the video link on screen now.